Hello, guys, and welcome to my channel, The Black Door. Here we explore the stories written in the book versus the stories played in the series. So, for this first episode, I have taken the most watched series, The Game of Thrones. So, we were all disappointed by how it ended. Like, we were not expecting it. We were expecting a lot from season 8. If you're not getting that dopamine from the series, we readers hop to the books. So all the three books are very closely to the series. Like it's like very fairly depicted in the series. So it would be a futile effort to to do those stories. So basically, I started reading this book, The Feast of the Crows, out of the blue, and I have seen that this book is quite different from the stories. In fact, it has chapters which are not in the series. So I've opted out to make videos of how its chapters are different from the book versus the series. So basically, we are going to go through this book together. So the first chapter that it has, it's the prologue. So it is a very interesting. I have gone through, I'll just show you where I'm in the book. Basically, I am here. Yeah, so I am here. Like this is where I am in the book. I don't know where I dropped my bookmarks suddenly. Yeah, so this is where I am in the book. So I have done so much of the book. So I'm going to read this book along with you so that we are on the same boat. I have no more information. So this book, the first chapter is the prologue, as I mentioned earlier. So in this prologue is basically it's a chapter which is not there in the series. So in this chapter, basically, it is in Old Town, situated in Old Town. There is a city named Old Town where the citadel is situated. So there are four characters which are introduced in this. So basically, they have come to a place like kind of a bar, kind of a place, Quill and Tangot, and they're just celebrating one of the friends win. He won a copper link today, so they're celebrating it. So that are all these friends, they are talking about their respective maesters, they're talking about their past life, and then we are introduced to Pate. He's a word character, and he is into the citadel. He is here for the past 4 years, but still he has been hit by luck and he's got no single uh, link, whereas his friends are like for 1-2 years and they are having a bunch of them. So this is the backdrop of Pate. So Pate is here and he's in this bar with his friends, but he's having some another motive. So basically, he is in love with a girl, Rosie, who is a whore's daughter, and she's just recently flowered, and his mom has announced that whoever wants Rosie will have to pay dragons to get Rosie. So basically, Pete is in love with Rosie. Everybody is in group circle knows this, and ever since his mom has made this claim that I will be trading Rosie for some dragons, he's been thinking of collecting those dragons. He had only bit of silver in his kitty, but he is going beyond his normal ways to to win his love, to have a life that he admires, have a life which he thinks he deserves. So basically, he is in love with Rosie, her as a whore or someone like that. He is in love with that girl. He wants to just marry her and take her away to the free cities and live his will. He's not interested in being a maester right now. He's thinking about his love. He's thinking about his life ahead. So this is a paid story that we're introduced to in this chapter. So these guys are having their own banter, they're having their fun, they are like discussing about different maesters that they are allotted, and there is introduced another guy. So basically, they were discussing, amongst their discussion, they had discussed about the dragons and Queen Daenerys. So they had heard all these stories from the sailors, and they are not quite sure whether they are dragons. So Leo is the guy who is introduced. He comes into the bar, and he tells them that, you know, yes, the story for dragons, and there is this Queen Daenerys, and she has hatched herself three dragons, and it is a tale that's going around for a while, and it is true. So for Citadel at an old town, this news is important. Like dragons are important because dragons depict that there is a magic in the world, and when there is magic in the world, certain knowledge of Citadel becomes possible. So these things are of very important to the Citadel. So this is something that they're discussing, and Leo comes and tells them that yeah, there are dragons. So basically, these guys are like enjoying their friends' win, and then it's dawn and all people have started to leave. So basically, Pete here now we get a backstory. Like Pete has not come to celebrate his friends' win that I've told before. He is waiting for who? He is waiting for an alchemist who can convert iron into gold. So now we know that Pete is not helpless. He has found himself a way to attract, to win Rosie. So basically, he's waiting for an alchemist. So his friends started to leave, and he's like, "No, I'll be waiting," because he's waiting for the alchemist. So after a few waiting hours, he sees that day is going to come up. So he starts to leave. So basically, he's leaving, and then he's leaving, and he's leaving, and he's going through alleys of the old town. So he hears someone. He looks back, and he sees the alchemist there. So here, the alchemist asks Pete, like, "What is your name? Who are you?" So Pete says, "I am the thief." And he's like, "Pete, the thief? Why?" So basically, now we come to know that Pete has actually robbed a citadel. Robbed what? So basically, Pete was under the care of an archmaester, Valgrind, and he was a person who used to forget stuff. He would, spoil his small clothes, and he would run a year, and then he was a very renowned maester then, but now he's lost his wits. So basically, Pete is assigned to this man, and he is the archmaester. Now archmaester has a key which is made of iron, and this key can open any doors to the citadel. So this is something we were introduced. So we found out that Pete has robbed this key from Archmaster Vanguard. So the alchemist is not wasting time, and he's asked for what he wants. So Pete gives him the iron key, and then he gives him the dragons. So Pete asks him to show his face, because when he saw the alchemist for the first time, the sun was coming up. He could not see his face. So now he pulls off his robe, and he could see he's a normal guy. He's chubby. He has some beard grown, and then on his right cheek they show there is a scar, and he has a crooked nose. So he doesn't recognize him neither. So he says, "I don't recognize you, Pete, but a job is done here." So Pete has his dragon in his arm, like it's the gold that he wants to win Rosie with. He gives it a bite to just see whether it is real gold. He actually doesn't know how real gold tastes, but doesn't want to look like a novice in front of this man. So he tastes it, and he's like, "Okay, okay," and he starts to leave. He starts to leave now, and he's given this key to the alchemist, the key that can open any door in the set. Before going, he asks the man, like, "Why do you want this key? Is there some old books or this old scrolls that you need?" He says that it's none of your business. Then Pete starts to leave. Now he's leaving. Suddenly, he's slipping. He thought that, the citadel stone wall, a stone pavement is wet or moist because of the dew, and that's why he's slipping. But the pavement was not wet. Then suddenly he cannot feel his legs. His legs have become water. They say in the book, the legs have become water, and then he cannot feel it. And suddenly he's going towards the ground, and he hits the ground, and he says, "What's happening? What is this? What's happening?" So he says that you will never know, like you will not know what happened with you. And then suddenly the Rosie's face flashes in front of me, and Pete is gone. So this was the chapter. I'm like, oh my god, like I did not know the chapter will end like that. Like it started with like four people, like two, like people from the Citadel, like having their time, and oh my god, like he will be like suddenly Pete has another motive, then he drops something from the Citadel, then he gives it to this man. Like we don't know who is, what is the purpose of this man, what is the backstory of this man, we do not know. So I've come across so much of the book, like I am done, but story is not repeated. We do not know who this man is. For first, I thought it could be Tyrion or Tywin, or someone. Tywin is dead, sorry. Tyrion. So I thought it would be here someone from the Free Cities or Arya, like someone. But we are not disclosed who is this. So basically, I was shocked, and the chapter for me was like very different. I did not think in the first chapter there would be a death, like someone, and there would be something so vital in the enemy's hand. Like so, the chapter was amazing. It blew my mind. I loved it. Actually, the prologue has to be interesting because then you go into the book, like like chapter wise. So it was amazing. It was like chapter I did not dream of. I actually read it in one go. I was not ready for it, and I read it in one go. I was not expecting the story to turn like that, but it was a very nice read for me. So basically, so this is the end of the chapter, the prologue. Now there's another chapter which is the prophet. Here also there is a very interesting character that we come across, and some character that you will love. It's completely different. It's not there in the book. Sorry, it's not there in the series. It's a very good read. It's opened up some things to me. Like I really liked it. There's a very strong character here that will affect the story ahead. So stay tuned for for chapter number 2. That is the prophet, and let's read together and complete this book. So yes, this is the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Please write down in the comment section if there's any other book that you want to go from series to the book. If there is anything that you want me to read for you, please mention in the comment section.